everyone, I'm Mary Jean Murphy and I am leading the Riverside Knoll Sew Along by Kim Deal, and today we are talking about installment one. We are finally getting started and we're all so excited around here. If you haven't gotten your kit or you're wondering what is going on, you're welcome to call our office. If not, we may have sent you an email, but I think everyone at this time has gotten their kit. If you've seen the last video that I did, it was about getting started, and I recommend that you look at that. It's just a quick informational video, mostly about putting your book together and labeling your fabrics. So let's get going on installment one. I'm so excited to get moving. I actually have been working ahead because I wanted to be able to give you a little bit of tips, a little bit of confidence, and make sure I cheer you along the way. Anyway, so it's 2 blocks in the first installment. It's the center block, which is a kind of a churn dash with a star in the middle. And then it's the 4 corners of the second, let's call it the second border. And it's just the corner pieces. I haven't seen the ones that attach it all together. So it's really going to be just 5 blocks, all 8.5 inches, and that's all you're going to have to do this month. I did the first block in a couple of hours. I'm pretty confident, but I think you can too. The second block we're going to talk about in a minute. So the first block is actually it's a lot of fabrics. I got all these fabrics out. These were the ones that I used in the block, the ones that she recommended. And as you can see, all of my fabrics are labeled like I asked. I thought would be a good idea for everyone to do. So if you've done that, you're halfway into the game. The very first thing that she wants you to do is to make the churn dash star, and that would be this. And the churn dash star actually has a lot of small pieces in it. And I don't want you to feel like it's going to be something that's going to frustrate you, because if you just kind of take your time, use a little bit thinner thread, or that's at least what I like to do, and don't over press it. Wait until the end, maybe just give it like a light press, but wait until the end to starch it. If you feel like you are very confident in pressing, you can go ahead and starch it, but I don't want you to stretch it out or to get it kind of cattywampus. And I want you to feel like it's gonna be the right quilt or the right piecing for you. Anyway, as you can see, some of my seams I went ahead and pressed open. There was a lot of bulk within this square and a square, which is one of the very first things they want you to do. It actually is the first thing they want you to do. And one of my tips that I have for you, I'm going to embed in the email, but I'm also going to tell you, is they have you put your larger the green, which I think they call like a blue, but it's this, and you put the star points on it. Well, when you lay your fabric on top and you sew across the line, go ahead and press it open before you trim the seam allowance. I think you'll feel a little more confident. You won't. It's going to be, once you trim the seam allowance, you're going to have a little bit of bias in there. So if you press it open before you trim the seam allowance, it's going to be a little more stable, and it's going to keep it really nice and tight and sharp. And I think you'll be happy. The other thing I did also was in these corner blocks, they were cut 2 7/8. I went ahead and cut them at 3, and I trimmed them down after I made the block. It just made it a little more tidy. But other than that, this was a strip. You put all this together, you added it to the center, and then you add the top row to the bottom row. She does an excellent job of telling you which way to do your seams and which way not to do your seams. It worked out perfectly. So that's actually block number 1, and there's 2 variations. This is the center block, and then the 4 corner blocks are the dreaded applique block, which isn't really dreaded. I think if you follow along with a little video we're going to shoot probably and send it out to you with this. I do back basting. I enjoy back basting, but I'm going to tell you, any applique is going to work. Back basting is something that I find very, very, very precise and very easy to do. And I hope you watch my video that we're going to do. And you can actually look it up on YouTube. You can see all kinds of designers are doing back basting. But like I said, you can do needle turn, you can do freezer paper, you can do fusible applique, and try Kim Deal's way also. We will have a video also showing how that's done. I think Margot's going to do that one. The one thing I will tell you to do is once you cut out your motifs for your applique, you're going to have a little bit of a tail, and that tail is going to eventually tuck into this black half square triangle. Once you get the four corners with the middle section, the one that I think it's an installment too, then you'll put the whole middle together, and you'll understand that this little tail is actually going to extend into the center block and kind of make it all look like one motif. I think that she had asked for you just to leave a 1 inch bit of stitching that is open so that you can slip the tail in there. I didn't do it. I figured when the time came, I would just take my seam ripper and open it up and then go ahead and close it once I got the tail properly in there. And it kind of kept me from having to know exactly where the middle was and how big I was going to do it. I figured at some point I was going to have to do hand stitching anyway, so I'll just do it at the end and I won't do it from the beginning. I did the stems a little bit differently. I cut them exactly the same way. I don't know that mine are bias. I think mine are straight of grain because the stem is actually very straight, and I did it straight of grain and then stretched it so that it was perfectly straight. But I go ahead and just sew a Sam, how can I show this the easiest? Can I do it this way?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I think you can probably see that I folded it in half. I pressed it, and then I went ahead and ran a 1/4 inch seam all the way down. And then I took it back to the pressing table, to the ironing board, and I just turned it under and went ahead and pressed it again, and I starched it. And I think it comes out as a really, really nice and straight stem. She has you putting bias bars in. I just don't have bias bars. So I went ahead and did it without it. But if you have bias bars and you feel like you want to do that method, perfectly fine. Anyway, I have all my pieces here. They're ready for applique. And check out in our video section on YouTube, we're going to have a applique demo for you to see. So, like I said, there's a few tips. Check out the email so that you see them all. I want you to be successful. If you have any issues, you just call here and I might even call you back. You never know. I think that would be great. And until next time, installment 2, let's get sewing.